that now. If you're a wine drinker, open up your ears and listen very carefully, because it may be a dry out festive season this year, because we've got a shortage in wine and Prosecco. Who did it? Who ruined it for all of us? If it was you, text me. We need words. Now, as our wine consumption is changing, the industry is asking to order by the glass rather than the bottle. But why? Now, today, to tell us all about it, is Head of Marketing at Bermar. It's Luke Guzman. Hey, Luke, how are you?
Good evening, Letitia. Thank you for having me. Hello.
Thank you for coming on. I'm glad you took the time, because when my producer told me about this, I was like, what? What do you mean there's a shortage? I love wine.
Well, first of all, I'm hoping it won't be a dry. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying about there is a shortage, and we can talk about that in a minute. But hopefully, if you order by the glass, it won't be a dry Christmas, because you've got so much other fantastic wine and champagne to enjoy.
Maybe it's an opportunity to try different wines, because nobody ever wants to buy the bottle, do they, if they've never tasted it before? Look at me out here. I've just solved the problem. Luke.
To be honest, did you even need to call me on? Like, you've just basically nailed it already. So,
exactly. I'm the wine connoisseur, and I'm coming for your job. No, I'm joking. One thing I'm definitely not is a wine connoisseur. Let me tell you now. Many, many years ago, we went for a wine tasting session with work. Like, it was like a work thing, because I used to work in hospitality. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And everyone from my team was just drinking the wine. You know how you're supposed to like taste it and go, and then say about the flavours? No, we were lucky we were getting the train home, because nobody could have driven.
But the thing is, do you know what's fantastic? Do you know what's fantastic about that is, you're drinking wine by the glass. Is you just said it was a night out. You know, it's just that in itself. It's an event that people can enjoy. And this Christmas, this winter period, even if there is a shortage, they can go out and have a tasting session with their friends. And it doesn't need to be all like ultra pretentious and difficult. It could be they can go and try some new things, and that is only achievable by the glass. Because unless you're very interesting, you want to go and buy 5 or 10 bottles to go and try. That's a very interesting evening. But why not go out with your friends? Why not go out with your friends this Christmas and try a wine flight of 3 or 4 glasses that a restaurant can offer you or a bar can offer you? It's something really interesting.
There we go. See what I mean? Solved it again. Look at that. You're welcome. But no, in all seriousness though, you are the head of marketing of Bermar, which is a pro wine and champagne preservation system. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so, okay, that's definitely a question I can answer. Is here at Bermar, we've been going 30 years, and we're actually a British manufacturer of wine and champagne preservation systems. And I'm aware most people probably have just listened to that sentence as consumers and gone, well, what is that? And in a nutshell, we developed boxes, special systems, magic boxes, should we say, for the hospitality industry that allows them to open up any bottle of still or sparkling wine and pour you, so when you go out, a lovely glass, and then it can seal it up again. And it means when they come to open it tomorrow or the day after or the day after that, it's still perfect. It's still fresh as that winemaker intended. And then that means they don't need to pour it down the sink. So you as the consumer get a fantastic glass of wine, and you can enjoy that and know it's been looked after by that venue. And also they don't need to pour money down the drain, and also look after the environment, which is relevant obviously for COP this week as well, because they're not pouring all that hard work from that winemaker right down the drain.
Can I get one of these in my house? I'll never leave again.
We'll talk after. But yeah, it's exactly that. And it's a system that opens up the ability for restaurants to offer you a great by the glass option, rather than you being stuck with that bottle. You can go, do you know what? I'm going to have a different wine with my starter or my main or my dessert, or we're celebrating. There's so many cool things I could be talking about, like why as a consumer you should definitely be enjoying by the glass, but also why it helps hospitality. We can talk about all these different things. I'm sure you're gonna. I don't want to jump all over your questions straight away. So.
It's like, and thank you, Luke. Goodbye. But
good night.
But having the preservation for longer, will this help the wine and champagne shortage?
Yes, it absolutely will. Okay, so let's break it down into a nutshell. The shortage, I don't want to be sensationalist. There's come down from three main crises, should we say. And I don't want to sound like excuses, but these three kind of crises are Brexit, COVID, and the climate crisis. And we can break them down bit by bit. So Brexit, it's kind of the obvious one. Drivers, distribution, custom checks, getting the product into the system. We've all heard about it. It's the same with pretty much everything. Then same with COVID. The global supply chain for wine, champagne, and the whole wine industry has obviously been disrupted. People have been locked in, and it's caused a huge ripple across the planet. So it's not just for us. And then to impact on that even more is the climate crisis. You've got fields in Marlborough, New Zealand, that they've 30% down on their harvest due to extreme weather conditions. You've got Champagne region in France also reporting huge reductions in their harvest as well due to the climate issues. So if you factor in those kind of three things all at the same time, plus, and this is a positive story, the UK consumer, we love to drink, right? We love to drink wine and champagne. Yeah, I feel like I'm pushing to the converted there. So with that, you've got extreme demand post-lockdown, post-COVID, and everyone's kind of coming back to it. Plus these three crisis pressures, it can be quite difficult. But By the Glass allows you to go to a hospitality venue. Okay, your favourite New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc might not be there, but you can try something different by the glass, and that helps the hospitality venue because rather than have an upset customer and they don't want to upset you at the end of the day, you can probably find something as good, if not better, and that they feel good because they've been able to obviously get the business. You can help them earn during this winter period after such a tough sort of year and a half for the hospitality industry. So it's just win-win all round. But yeah, they're the kind of things I wanted to touch on really of why there's an initial sort of shortage anyway. But By the Glass really does help the hospitality industry this sort of coming winter period.
Luke, you have just absolutely A, blown my mind, and B, creeped me out. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of now there are hundreds of wines in the world, right? Hundreds, am I right?
Yeah.
And of all the wine that you could have said, you picked the only one I drink.
It's a bit like I've been listening digging before the call, There you go.
Actually, do you drink wine?
It would be hard not to. It would be hard not to. I can't obviously say though because we're so lucky at Bermar. We work with so many fantastic wine brands and champagne brands and sparkling wine brands across the world. I could never say on radio, oh, I prefer this or I drink this, because it would be sacrilegious. But I
can imagine actually.
I'm very lucky that basically we have a fantastic experience with so many great brands, and they're really doing their best at the moment to try and bounce out of this sort of COVID lull that the whole globe has had. And I would sound like a broken record, but By the Glass could not be better for these people, especially for the suppliers. As if you said you're drinking sort of that New Zealand wine, it's not there. Okay, it's sold out. You can now support another producer, maybe like a South African producer, and go, okay, do you know what? I never knew that existed. That's fantastic. And you can find a new favorite, discover something brand new and interesting, and completely change up what your winter plans or Christmas plans are, but in the most exciting way. Wine is such an exciting thing to love because there's just so much of it. As you said, hundreds, thousands of different types of wines you can be enjoying.
Love that. I absolutely love that. Now, Luke, stay with me. We're going to go to a track, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about how this is affecting the hospitality sector. So we are talking about wine, okay? One of my top subjects. I think if I could be on, is it Mastermind? Is that the one? And you get a chosen subject. I think wine would be mine. Consumption. But I'm talking to Luke Gusman, who is head of marketing at Bermar, because there is a slight shortage and we are encouraging you to buy By the Glass. But it can be exciting, can't it, Luke?
It absolutely. I don't know if it can be as exciting as you trying to pronounce Camilla Cabello, but it's definitely exciting.
Don't set me off again. Don't set me off again.
It is absolutely exciting. Wine by the Glass this Christmas is. I said before, the reason it's exciting is because there's so many options, there's so much new things to try, there's so many reasons it's good for you and good for the hospitality industry. So yes, very exciting.
Love that. Now, how is this shortage affecting the hospitality sector at the minute?
So going on from what I was saying earlier about the different sort of crises coming together, plus the demand from the UK consumer, it's causing issues simply for supply. So where restaurants, hotels, bars might have ordered their wine, and got daily deliveries or rapid deliveries, they're just not getting that through at the moment. And mixing because of sort of the lockdown, the hospitality industry doesn't have all this money where they can go, oh, let me just buy all my stock for Christmas. Because firstly, they don't know what this Christmas is going to be because of, the Christmas to end all Christmases, because we weren't really allowed last year. So they can't really predict. And also they've just spent the last few months trying to rebuild all the money they've lost anyway. So they haven't got the cash flow to be able to buy that kind of level of stock. But the suppliers and sort of the producers, some of it they don't physically have the stock. They've either sold out, or they haven't got there yet, or they haven't been able to deliver. So the way it's affecting the hospitality industry is simply their supply and what they physically have, which is causing some to switch up their menus. So some of your favorites this Christmas might not be available. That might just be something we can avoid. And problem with that is that will disappoint some people, but Buy the Glass allows you to completely avoid the disappointment you can get with these supply issues. And it also really helps your local hotel, restaurant, bar, whatever it might be, because they don't want you to be unhappy. It's completely out of their control. So if you order Buy the Glass and you're trying something new for the first time, that is fantastic. And also, if you don't like it, you've only ordered the glass. You haven't committed to the whole bottle there.
Exactly.
You go and do a different glass. You go and have another glass of something else. And so that's how it's really affecting the sort of hospitality industry. And just a touch point, ordering By the Glass physically helps them with pounds in their pocket as well. It's not like,
Very true.
you rather than you going, do you know what, my favourite's not here, I'm going, or, I just order a bottle of something sort of cheap at the bottom of the menu just because I can't find what I want. No, go and get something a bit exciting. Go and get a nice By the Glass option, whatever it might be, red, white, rosé, champagne, sparkling, doesn't really make a difference. It helps them get pounds back in their till after a very, very hard lockdown.
Couldn't agree more. And I think, just for a note as well, to say, if a company in the hospitality sector doesn't have your drink, don't be rude. Like, it's not their fault. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Don't throw your weight around and giving it jip. Do you know what I mean? Like, just...
Exactly, and you know what, if I just rattle on some reasons of why you shouldn't give jip is, firstly, there is always something to discover new, right? You can also, with a Buy the Glass option, you can maximize your dining experience or your going out experience. And what I mean by that is, if you're going out for a nice meal, if it might be an anniversary, a birthday, a Christmas, or, just a Tuesday and you want something fun, if you pair something different with your main and dessert, you've completely probably changed your meal that you've never tried before. You've always bought by the bottle, and now you've actually mixed up. It's also, if you're trying to make a healthier choice, ordering a good glass of wine rather than the whole bottle, it's a nice little switch up. It's a healthier option for you. Or rather than buying a cheap bottle of something, you can go a bit fancy and get a premium glass option. So really make the meal sing and really, or make that night out really celebrate with an absolute top glass of champagne or something. Or on the flip side, if you don't want to go premium, and this Christmas, due to lockdown, you've had quite a hard, 12, 18 months, and you're watching the pennies, rather than buy the bottle, buy yourself a nice glass of wine. You're not missing out on the treat. It allows you to save a bit of money, but you're still making and supporting the hospitality industry. So, and not to mention, it's the more sustainable option as well, because you're not leaving the dregs of the bottle that the restaurant can't sell at the end when you don't do it. And yes, people do it. The amount of times I hear, well, we always finish the bottle. But trust me, people do. People definitely leave the dregs at the bottom of the bottle. And that has to go down the drain and down, and that's carbon footprint and money for that venue gone.
Absolutely no. And do you know what, right? I think of it like this. If other people think of it like this, if you went on a night out, you wouldn't drink the same cocktail all night, would you? No. So think of the same thing with wine. And it's just, do you know what also? It just means that you'll probably end up drinking a little bit less, because if you mix the different wines, you're just going to feel a bit woo.
do you know what? Absolutely. And you just touched on champagne or wine cocktails. They're like the cool thing that no one really talks. Like a champagne cocktail, never do you feel more like a billionaire than if you're drinking a champagne cocktail.
Do you know what I mean?
Like it can completely change a night out. But a lot of people either think, A, it's not for them, or, oh no, I shouldn't try something like that. Or a wine cocktail even, they're so interesting. And what, some hotels, restaurants and bars are doing, it's just mind-blowing. You're like, wow, why haven't I ever tried this before? So sometimes your favourite not being on the menu, I think, rather than have this as a bad news story, is actually the opportunities are endless. If you go by the glass, if you go for a great cocktail, it's incredible and should be a fun Christmas for everyone.
There you go. But do you think, though, that people nearer to Christmas, and not necessarily in hospitality, but in just general, retail, do you think people are going to panic buy?
It's a tough one, and we're very lucky at Bermar that we deal with retail as well, and we do a retail. I don't think panic buy in the sense of people might with a bottle of champagne or something for their Christmas day, and they might think, oh, I better get that now, and that is what it is. I think there is stock on the shelf. I don't think anyone needs to start doing. If I want to go around someone's house, if they're stocking their wine like they're stocking their loo roll, but
I was about to say we stocked loo roll, babes.
Yeah. So if someone's stocking their wine like that, then I want to meet this person. But
where's your cash flow coming from?
But realistically, for the retail arm of things, I don't think so. I think as long as you're sensible and as long as everyone remains sensible, it's a completely different kettle of fish to the sort of toilet roll and petrol and all that kind of stuff. But I hope people just really see this as an opportunity. Do you know what I mean? And say this is not a bad news story. This is actually sometimes the chance to discover their new favourite, or chance to go out to that next level white that they've always looked at buying but actually have never done. This is that moment to do it. Also, Letitia, it's the UK's favourite way of enjoying wine is actually by the glass. We've recently done some studies across the UK of thousands of people, and people prefer by the glass. So it's the UK's favourite way of doing it. It's going to help the hospitality industry. It's a great thing for you yourself as the consumer to enjoy the wonderful world of wine. So I don't really know what you're waiting for. I know after this I'm going to have a glass of wine. So
brilliant. Brilliant. If I wasn't working, I'd join you. Luke, thank you so much for coming on. It has been not only enlightening, but so much fun. And I definitely am going to, when I go out now, I'm going to drink glass by the wine and enjoy myself. Like you said, may find myself a brand new favourite. And you at home should be doing the same. Let's enjoy Christmas so that everybody can enjoy Christmas,